Howdy doody, everybody. Oh my goodness, guys, listen, the internet is actually really crazy today. Ryan just shifted in from the digital realm. As you guys can see, he had a little intro of his own. All right, so guys, it's Brandon and Ryan here yet again for another Make It Monday. Caveat, I'm in a hotel. For those of you guys who are in the community, you guys know that I'm not in my apartment right now, so I can't be in the spaceship. But we have an awesome session today with Ryan because, Ryan, what are we doing today?
We are going to be using Velo AI to help customize a custom blog like repeater.
Beautiful. All right. So, guys, also, I want to ask for a lot of your patience today. We want to still bring this to you today because today's Monday and we do all of our awesomeness on Monday. And yeah, so if there's any technical difficulties or there's a lag or whatnot, just be patient. We're here with you. We're going to try to get through everything we can today. But today we also have a really short session, so we should be in the clear. So, Ryan, I'm going to jump to your screen. And with that being said, I also want to say hi to you guys in the chat and let us know where you're coming in from. All right, Ryan, take us away. What are we jumping into now?
Okay, so this is what we're going to be building today. So it's just going to be a custom repeater for our blog. And right here, you can see a little new icon. So if a post is newer than 30 days or not older than 30 days, then it'll show like a little new icon. And then at the very bottom, there's a view more button. So if we click that and it shows more post, but if there's no more post to show, then the button disappears. So that's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be using Velo AI to help create these custom interactions for us. So we can go ahead and get started. So the first thing we're going to do is go over to the add panel, and we're just going to add the blog. And we're going to add this to our site. And while it's adding that, I'll go ahead and mention that I've created a little XML file here if you're following along with the assets. So you can upload the images here as well if you want to use the images for the blog post or the same ones that I am using. And then I also included the steps in Velo AI prompts, which is going to be just a Google Doc with the prompts that I gave Velo AI and the code right here. I will also mention that I've given Velo AI the same prompts a couple times, but sometimes it doesn't always give the same exact code. So I did include the code here for you guys to use if you would like to. But now that the Wix blog is basically added, we just need to wait a couple more seconds.
And with that last second, everything that Ryan just mentioned that he has for you, links down in the description for those.
Yep. I will say my internet's been a little slow today too.
It's always that 1/10, man. It's that gets through the 9 out of the 10, then it's just like that 1/10 is just like it really takes its time. But that's where all like it seems like all the computation is at.
This is funny.
But this just gives us a moment to also like I'm really excited to see I've very rarely tried the or haven't tried the Velo AI. I had, but like I didn't really know how to use it. There was a lot of settings, so I'm really happy that we get to an opportunity to check that out live together.
Uh-oh.
What is the oh there it is.
Are you still with us, Brandon?
Oh yeah, I'm
Oh, okay.
Okay. All right. I have you and I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay. Yeah, I can hear you now. I think you were cutting out on my side.
Okay. Oh man. Now, yeah. You let me know. Can you hear me, Ryan, or no?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, cool.
As long as you can hear me, I think we're good.
Yeah, I can hear you. That the recording is picking you up. It's just our cameras that are a little busted right now. We'll just put those to the side. But it's probably the Wix blog. Honestly, all the computation that's happening there, it's probably just taking the resources from your camera. I'm sure as soon as this is done, the cameras will
That's
be
true.
fine. Yeah. But again, guys, we already told you. We're trying to bring awesomeness to you on a regular basis on Monday. But listen, our circumstances little different today. All right, so it looks like we've got everything loaded up. The blog is in.
Yep. So the first thing I'm going to do is go to Manage Posts, and that's going to open up the dashboard and bring us to our post page. And then we're going to go to our post here, and under More Actions, we're going to import post. And that little file, the XML file that I provided, we can import that using the WordPress setting here by using a WordPress XML file. And I'm just going to drag this in and import our 10 posts. And it ran into a technical issue. So let me try one more time. And if this doesn't work, it might just be because we're streaming at the same time. So I have another website with this already imported. We can just try it there. Okay, yeah, it doesn't seem like it's working.
Technical
So let's
backwards
go
today,
over
guys.
here, and I'll just open this website up.
But I don't think you're the only one. We have Keyshow in the chat saying they had some when they tried to provide the code, they had some crashes. So we're not the only ones here
Okay.
with the yeah.
Gotcha,
We're not alone.
Gotcha. Okay. Okay, let's see. So for this, I'm just going to create a new page. I'm going to call this one blog number 2. And since we already have the post here, we should have a database for blog post here. And for this, we're going to need a repeater, and we need to connect that repeater to that blog post data set. So the first thing we're going to do is come over to Add, grab a repeater, and we're going to drag this out onto the page. We can go ahead and stretch this so it takes up the full section. And then if we wanted to, we could add maybe like 5% margin and link that to all sides, just so it kind of makes it look like that. So it gives us enough space. Another option, instead of doing the margin, what we could do is grab the section itself and add maybe like 5% padding. That's another way to do it as well. Some people prefer this method. For the repeater, let's go ahead and give us like 40 pixels of spacing in between our items. And then for the items themselves, let's set the background color to white. Let's give us a border of 20% opacity and then like 1 pixel width. For the corners, let's round them to 24. And now inside of this, we can go ahead and start building this out. So for the item, let's go ahead and break this into 2 parts. So we're going to set a CSS grid, and we're going to set it to 1 by 2. That way we have a top section and then a bottom section. For the top section, it's going to be an image. So we'll just drag this image out here into the top row, and we're going to stretch it. And for the bottom, let's go ahead and just grab like a paragraph text. And I'm actually going to drag it down here just so we can kind of say, we can call this the date. And then we can drag this date text into the repeater. and now all of them should have the date here, or show date, and not just a giant paragraph. And we're going to center this text just like this and center it inside of the item itself. Underneath that, let's grab a title, and we don't need it to be this big, so let's do like 24 pixels. Center it, and then let's make it actually no, Montserrat meeting looks pretty good. Okay, and then we'll center this, and let's grab the date and the title, grab both of these and stack them. Perfect. And we'll just expand this stack a little bit, something like this, like just to fill the item. But then let's grab the repeater item, and we're going to add some padding. So maybe we can do like 5% inside of this. Maybe we can try 10. We'll do 7.5. I think that's a good happy medium there. And we will apply that to all sides by pressing this little link icon here. Great. For this image here, let's round the edges. For the rounded edge, we're going to set it to 12 because it's half of the 24 and it just looks a little bit cleaner. And then for the height of the repeater, let's go ahead and check this out real quick. Let's see. Actually, before we change the height, let's actually connect everything up to the CMS. So we're going to come over to CMS connections. We're going to press add a data set. We're going to choose the post collection here, and we're going to press create. Now for this image here, and you'll notice it added a bunch of items here, which is good. But for this image, we're going to want to connect this to our cover photo. For the date, let's connect this to the published date. Right here. Yeah, we'll do published date. But we don't want the full date. We kind of just want the long date format, or you can even do medium date format. So it's kind of nice that they let you choose which format gets shown. And then for the title, of course, we're going to connect this to the title. And we'll double check that this image got connected. Okay, it did. Well, we have to connect it to this cover image. There we go. That should change it. Maybe. And then we'll just resize the item. Hold up. That didn't work. We need to grab this row right here, and we'll set this to minimum content. There we go. And we'll also grab this stack here, and we'll remove the margin, but we will just grab the item itself, and under the grid settings, we can add a little spacing here. So maybe we can do like 5 VW. Oh, that's too much. Let's do like 24 pixels, and then we can switch this to a responsive value. So that would be 1.9 VW. I think that looks pretty clean like that. Let's mess with this a little bit more. Let's see. Is this the image? And the title isn't connecting either. Post data set, title. Let me see if I preview if it changes. It's kind of messing with me a little bit, but all good. For the next part, let's just move on to creating the new category, or the new little icon that appears. So under a new section, we can just create this temporarily. I'm going to add a paragraph text, I'm going to create a text that says new in all caps. I'm going to set the font size from the minimum to 13, and I'm going to set the font size. I really don't want this one getting bigger or smaller in any way. And then, or we can just set the text scale to custom and just set these to 13 as well. Both kind of work. For scale it proportionately, we're just going to set this to hug, and that's going to create, it's going to remove all the extra space for the bounding box. The bounding box is just going to hug the content inside the bounding box, which is what we kind of want. And then inside of, or then let's create a container. For this container, we're going to set it as our like main accent color, which in this case is this orange. We're going to drag the new inside of this, and let's go ahead and set this to like Montserrat's semi-bold, or we'll do bold here, and we'll also change it to white so we can actually see it a little bit better. And if we center it here inside of this container, we'll be able to grab this container, set the advanced sizing for it. So we'll toggle this on by pressing the 3 dots. And now we have the same sizing properties that we're used to from Editor X, if you've ever used that. And we're going to resize this to make it really small. And we can set the width to max content, but we can grab the new element here, and we can add like, let's say like 12 pixels to the left, and we can do the same thing to the right. Maybe 8 pixels on the top and bottom, which we can adjust this here in a minute. But we're going to grab the container itself now and go to corners and round these. So I'm just going to set these to 999, just so we have like this nice little round little icon here. Perfect. Now we can actually drag this inside of the repeater up here. So we'll go ahead and do that. I'm going to place it right here. And we're going to use our margins and maybe push it down and to the right, maybe 12 pixels. So we'll do like 12 pixels here for the top margin, and we'll do 12 pixels for the left margin as well. And we can go ahead and try to reconnect these real quickly, or really quickly. We want to connect this to the post data set. Image goes to the cover image. Date. We're going to connect this to the post data set and publish date. And we want the long date. See if that works. I apologize for the technical issues today. Post data set for the title, and this would need to connect to the title. But let's see. Let me try refreshing really quickly.
And the technical things, man, it's all good. It's a Monday. Yeah. Everybody's waking up. The internet's waking up. It's
exactly. Okay. We've refreshed. Let's see if that fixes it. Let's grab the repeater and try connecting it this way. So we're just going to follow the same steps that I did before. Created a database. Okay, it seems to be working a little bit better now. So let's grab this image here. And we'll connect this to the cover photo. There we go.
There we go.
For the date, we're going to connect this to the published date. And we'll select the long date format. And then last but not least, we'll
one
grab the
second,
title.
Ryan.
Oh, gotcha. Oh.
We are. It is technical difficulty day, man. For real. Give me a quick second, guys. I'm back here trying to do like bat flips to make sure that his screen stays. Whatchamacallit? There we go. We're gonna refresh it really quick. Let's see if it kicks in. And my screen should not be there. There's another Ryan. Sorry, guys. Jesus Christ. Oh, boy. There it is. All right. Good to go.
Awesome. Okay, cool. And then last but not least, we're going to connect this title just to the title of the post. There we go. And cross our fingers that this worked. Oh, that's the author. Let me see. Where's the title for the post? There we go. Okay. So now that we have this repeater done, what I want to do is come over into the Dataset Settings here. And maybe we only want 6 to appear at a time. So we're going to set this to 6. We're also going to come down to Sort, and we're going to add a little sort here. So we want the publish date. Order, we want new to old, not old to new, because we want the newer ones at the front and top. And now we have this done, which is great. The last thing we need here is just a view more button. So let's go ahead and grab this. We're going to change the text to say view more. And then for the design, we're just going to make it our little accent color. For the text, we're going to set this to like a bolder font. So we'll do Montserrat bold. And then for the corners, we'll just add like 12 pixel rounded edge. Let's go ahead and center it inside of this section here. And then let's remove the height from the section. And if we wanted to, we could also add like 2.5% padding on the top and bottom, just so we have a little bit of space. Okay. Now that we have our repeater kind of done here, we can move on to the actual coding portion of today's little workshop. So in order to get to Velo AI, what we're going to do is come over to the code area right here. And if you have not already accessed this, you would have to press start coding, and you would load into something that looks like this. However, to get to Velo AI, what you want to do is open up the code in Wix IDE. So we're going to go ahead and click this. It's going to open up a brand new tab. And this may look scary to some people that aren't coders, but we're really just going to be playing around in this one area right here, where it says generate or Velo AI, and we can generate code right here. So what we're going to do is enter this prompt in here real quickly. So we have this prompt, so I'm just going to copy it. What I will say is here in the editor, it would make it easier if we go ahead and change the names of our elements. So like this repeater 1, it might be better if we call it something like blog repeater. And then for this little new element right here, we might want to call this one like new icon. So when you click on an element in the coding panel, under the ID, you can of course give it a brand new name, and that's what I'm doing here. And I'm going to be using this to kind of help us write the prompt here in Velo AI. As you can see right here at the prompt I gave it, we called it new icon, and we're referencing the blog repeater. Now you don't have to do that. You can of course have Velo AI write code for you, And then when you're implementing the code on your website, you can just change the IDs to match the code or vice versa. So you don't have to do the include the IDs in the prompts if you don't want to. But that's just something that I've found to be kind of helpful. So what we want to do is generate code. So what we're going to do is just paste in that little prompt that I gave it. And now it's going to generate the code. And this takes about like 30 seconds. But like I was kind of saying earlier, sometimes it's not always like going to give you the same exact code as what it gave me the first time here. So we'll kind of see what it gives us here. Hopefully it's the same. But one thing I really do like about Velo AI is whatever code it gives you, it also gives you steps to actually implement the code. So right here, you can see it is a different code here, but it gives you all the steps you need to implement it. But one thing I really do like about Velo AI is we have 2 follow-up questions that we can give it. So I can maybe ask, can you rewrite the code without the query? Because we're not trying to do like a query for this code. Because like I said before, we have code that works perfectly fine and there's no query in it. So we don't really have to worry about it if we don't. I really don't want to mess with queries if we don't need to. And that's not quite what I wanted, but all good. What we can do is simply just grab this code here. And then there are 2 ways you can implement the code. The first one is if we can go back into the editor and do it here. The second way is we can actually do it from WixIDE. So I'm going to go ahead and close this just to not get too confused. But what we're going to do is come over to Explorer.
And Ryan, just give the screen like 3 seconds.
Gotcha.
Maybe like a good 15 seconds. It was all good, and then it just flipped when you flipped the screen.
Oh, gotcha.
Let me try to do a little bit of the magic that I can on my side. It was good up until now. My role today, guys, is literally just to play like the middleman. Like, see if I can get Ryan's thing up. There we go. All right. Let it load for like 5 more seconds. Sharpen up. We're good to go.
Awesome.
All right, sir. Take it away.
So if we come over to the Explorer here, another way to implement the code is you can go down to Source, open up the Pages drop down here, and you will see your pages here. So we can just open up the blog 2 page that we created, and I can just paste in the code right here. And then once we close out of the WixIDE tab and go back over to our editor, you will see that our code has been implemented here on the page. And we can even press Start Coding to start coding from this panel if we wanted to. So if we want to see if this works, we can go ahead and press Preview. And if this works correctly, the first 2 items should be the only ones with the new icon emblem thing that we created, and all of the other ones shouldn't show anything. The next thing that we kind of want to do is when we press this View More button, well, I forgot to actually pair it. So what we need to actually do first is come back to the editor, click the View More button, come over to the dataset. We want to make sure it is connected to the post dataset still. And for the click action, we want it to say Load More. So now when we go ahead and press Preview, and we go down to the View More button and press it, it's going to view the rest of the post, but you'll notice that it now just disables the button by default and doesn't hide it. So what we're going to want to do is give Velo AI a prompt to hide the View More button when there's no more items in the database to show. Instead of just disabling the button, we want to hide it. So once again, we're going to go to the coding panel. We're we're going to open up the Wix IDE platform. And we're going to head back down to the Velo AI little icon here. And we're still on the blog 2 page. So as soon as it generates code, we can implement it straight onto the page if we want to. Let's go back over to our prompt. If we scroll down a little bit, you'll see the View More button prompt here. And this is the prompt that I gave it to give me this code right here. So we're going to come back over to Wix AI or Velo AI and paste in the prompt here. And go ahead and run it.
While that's running, Ryan, I don't know how long it actually takes, but how long did it actually take you to create the prompt that you just copy and pasted in? Did it take a good while to get exactly what you were looking for?
I think that was probably like my third prompt I gave it. I will say there are times when you might just need to reword your prompt. It may not have given exactly what you wanted the first time, but it's fairly easy to get the to just reword it and get the code that you're wanting using Velo AI. As someone who knows what I want to do, but I'm not good at writing code personally, I think Velo AI is like amazing. Because I can look at this code and kind of tell you what it's doing, but if I didn't have this code here and you asked me to do it by myself, it would take me hours and hours and hours to figure this out and like a lot of research. But entering a couple of prompts into Velo AI really speeds up the process for me to like I can look at this and kind of tell you what it's doing, but so I know if the code that Velo AI is giving me is on the right track or not, but I can't write it originally, basically. If that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes total sense.
So let me see here. I want to try to compare this to what it gave me. So on click. Okay, I don't think it was quite the same. Let's see. I say that, but I don't really know what this part does. So I can sometimes read what code is telling or what code does, but not always. So we can try to give it another prompt, but it might be worth just go ahead and implementing this code here. So the View More button, you can see it's red. That's because I didn't name the button in our editor. So we can come back over to the editor really quickly with button 1 selected. We can change this to View More button with no space. And now you'll notice that the red line has disappeared. So let's go ahead and preview the button here, or preview the editor and see if the button works. So we're going to press View More and we'll scroll down and the button's still there. Oof. Let me see what's going on here. Per page, let's see. Okay, let me compare this with the other page real quickly. Okay, I see what it is. So I need to create another variable. For items per page, which is this right here. So let me see. When I originally did this with Velo AI, the items per page here was red and didn't have an underline, or had a red underline. So I actually used one of my follow-up questions to say items per page had a red underline, and then it gave me, basically told me that we need to create a variable for items per page. So I'm going to copy this variable, and we're going to paste this right here. Now items per page is no longer grayed out. And I think this should work now. So let's go ahead and go back to the editor. Let's go ahead and press preview. We'll scroll down, press view more. And the button's gone. Whew. I was a little worried there, I can't lie.
No, but that's the name of the game, man. Like,
exactly.
We're showing how this is supposed to, how it goes in real life. We try something. We've planned this out. Ryan has planned this out multiple days in advance, like a month in advance, I think, actually. And even as much as he prepared, like, things still go wrong. We have to figure out, like, okay, and we're doing this live. So we want to show you how we're going about this stuff, the process, but also, even though we're prepared, stuff still hits the fan and how we go about it. And we're having technical difficulties like out of out of hell today. So, and it's really, even still, pretty easy fix. So thank you, Ryan.
Yeah, of course. But yeah, I think that's basically it, right? We got it working. The Velo AI, even though we didn't really use Velo AI, like to give us the exact code that I have here, I do promise you that Velo AI did give me this code. Everything that we have here is from Velo AI, even though in today's workshop it didn't give me the same code. But
wonderful.
Yeah.
All right, cool stuff, man. Would you be open to also, can we publish this really quick so that we can actually share it in the, I'm not sure if you have you probably don't have it, but if you want to, I'll unshare your screen, but if you copy this and you just share it with me in the OBS Ninja chat, I'll put this in the live stream, and I'll also make sure to put it in the Discord, or not in the Discord, but in the YouTube description.
Okay.
So that those who are taking a peek at this or rewatching this, they can actually be like, oh, this is the project that we did, this is the outcome. I think that would also be beneficial to them as well. All right, guys, give me a hot second here. There we are. Copy that. But you guys have been an awesome crowd watching, and the patience. All right, there we go. Just dropped it in the channel for you guys. And Nina, I know you're in the back end. If you could take that link and plop it into our description, that would be awesome. All right, ladies and gentlemen, today was a quick and short session. I know that you guys like the long version, long pieces of content, but we also want to do something a little bit quicker today. Now, I did want to say, Kaz, you did have some questions in the chat. I wasn't sure if you had questions specific to Wix and or what we did today, but if you do have any questions about what we went over for the next 2-3 minutes, feel free to drop that in the chat. If not, guys, ladies, tomorrow we're trying to figure this out. We were supposed to have an event with Amanda, who is from the Wix team, very much like the event we had last week with Anthony, but we might move that because, as you guys can see today, the technical difficulties, I'm not happy dealing with them. They shook Ryan up maybe a little bit. He was actually the pillar of today. He held the. We have to give some claps for our boy. That was wonderful. He held down the fort. Let me check in the chat to see. Yeah, Kaz, if you have any questions specific on Wix today, we're open to that. Everything else, we will wait for as Ryan is glitching right now. See, this is why we got to postpone events, guys. So for every for all the announcements of what's going to happen this week, I'm pretty sure we're going to push all of our events this week to next week, or we'll let you know when they repopulate on our calendar, okay? But if you haven't already done so, like this video, go follow Ryan on Wix Fix on YouTube. All the links to his content are down in the description. But Ryan, any last closing words as you come back to not being pixelated anymore before the internet actually craps out on us? Any closing remarks for us?
Thank you guys for watching, and I appreciate y'all's patience as we are dealing with technical issues. But thank you guys for watching and hanging out with us.
Thank you so much. And I guess this is the last question, and then we'll close out. Let me see. Oh yeah, man, guys, this is what I'll say. We'll do this. Any questions that you guys have, just drop them in our Discord, because the internet is not going to be stable, and I just want to close. I want to close the YouTube link because it's not doing so hot. So let's do this. Let's regroup back in the Discord channel. Ask your questions in the Ask a Question channel, and or the Town Hall. The Town Hall questions will be addressed tomorrow. The Ask a Questions channel, we get to those as much as we can. So Atlas and Kaz, I'll see you in the Discord to answer your questions, and I'll see you guys later. Thank you so much, Ryan, and we will see you next week with no internet problems.
Sounds good.
All right, guys. See ya. Have a good one. Bye.